A poor mage.
Yeah, what the fuck is up?
Why would you buy a shield for a poor man?
Chancer, why is the Aegis in the shop?
No.
No. Too far. So, I learned something today. You can kill the chariots.
You can do what?
You can kill the chariots.
How the hell do you do that?
I think that each one has a unique way to kill it.
Well, that would have been good to know.
Which is actually, like, fucking cool.
Cool, but also fuck those things.
Oh. I didn't see that your hair went back. So I thought that this was just how long your hair was. And I was like, what the fuck? When did you get a haircut? I was so confused. I was like, you've been here the whole time. Oh, of course I knew that. Uh-oh. Oh. No! You're a coward! A fraud! A cheat! I also read something else. Supposedly, just from the one person I read, I think that the Elden Beast, according to them, heals if you do holy damage to them. I saw no one correct them. And honestly, I don't really want to believe it. If that's true, that's just fucking stupid. Oh. Dark Souls Twitter! I'm so dumb.
What's that? I'm a bully one. Utsumi. I'm a bully one. Utsumi.
Oh, so one of the Utsumis is a bully and the other one is not?
Imaginary Utsumi would never bully.
Imaginary Utsumi doesn't make Utsumi nice.
What's that imaginary Utsumi? So that's what imaginary Utsumi sounds like.
Do you have an imaginary Utsumi? The fuck?
Everybody has an imaginary.
No. Like, character there?
It's called this.
That's it.
Don't do that, it's fine.
I want to eat something.
Nameless. Have the past like 4 iterations of Dazzle in a single patch. Who are you? What the fuck are you all the techies in the same patch? Fuck. Dark Souls Twitter!
No. Never saving. You can treat.
Yeah, you know what? I was just trying to see if maybe that was a heal window. I could have saved her.
Third message?
I made sure that they didn't get deleted. Kidding me?
I'm a bully one. Also, I killed kind one.
Killed what?
Kind. Yeah, assassin.
So there's only one Utsu. I have returned. I have returned and it's time to beat this game. No, the Elden Beast is the last boss in the game. If I am past the Elden Beast, I am done. Sometimes I forget that that move is magic because it doesn't have a glowing hammer. My message was a praise. Dark Souls Twitter. If Dark Souls Twitter had been a little bit earlier, I would have lived. Uh-oh. Oh no. Dark Souls Twitter. I was watching another stream earlier today, and they didn't know about, like, because they're playing in offline mode, they didn't know that, like, if your message gets rated up, then, like, you get healed, and they were like, so what? If you have, like, a really good message, then, like, you could just win the game because it gets voted up enough? And so you just have like infinite Estus because someone told them that like it gives you an Estus, and it's like, okay, first of all, that's like not how that works. Second of all, like, even if you did, like, even if it did give you an Estus, like, it's not like that's not like that good. Have to drop another Estus. Be safe. I still just have no idea how that first Friday thing. Please, a little bit faster. We have dropped a lot of Estus. Man. Remember to switch. doing? Oh, not the one I thought. That's the one I thought he was doing.
Careful you're not.
What are you doing? This one. A little bit earlier than you think. Alright, this is the bullshit. Wow. Wow. No! Dark Souls Twitter! What are you doing? No! Don't. Oh, I hate. It's the same. It's not the same because for the other move, we ways is sort of the other way. But fuck you and your bullshit. Oh, it's so obnoxious. Check it out, I'm gonna call the boys.
I took my line.
I'm the bully there. Oh,
Yeah, I like it.
fuck me. You know what? We're not dead. Like we are now. I'm dumb. Uh-oh. Stop. No. Bullshit time. I cannot fucking see what my man's is doing. Oh, we need to heal. How do you fucking see? I shouldn't have cast my fucking regen.
There's more on you as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Not even close. This is doable. You actually think that this is worse than Millennium? Alright, just to prove it to you, I'm gonna start up another game. And I won't summon for Melania. And we'll see how you feel about Melania after I do that. No! Oh!
Bonus time.
Alright. Make sure you switch. Let's just ask for something. Is it time? Oh, I should have asked this. This one. I think I'm taking damage here. Towards. It's so weird. Oh no. Huh? It explodes at the end. Of course it does. Huh? What?
Durable, everything big. It's durable.
Oh yeah. No.
I know. I can't understand.
Oh my god, you've been here for like 50 days. You've said like maybe 6 things I haven't been able to understand, and because of like those 6 things, you suck. This is just outrageous. Imagine if I spoke like pretty good Japanese, but then I mispronounced like a single thing, and I was like, oh man, my Japanese sucks. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You know, my cat.
I know. Put a kill on this one, just in case. I should be getting a poise break kinda soon. Come on, man. I don't need a Dark Souls Twitter, but it would be like kind of nice. Gotta heal on this one instead of attack, which sucks. But what are you gonna do? Okay, I guess I'll just die. Silly, this is not a boss that we dodge. This is a boss that we just parry. Not the thing. Now. Heal. What? Oh no! The perfect opportunity, Dark Souls Twitter. I was supposed to heal there.
Here after flowers.
Huh?
You should heal after.
Oh yeah, I know, thank you. I don't know, Shinto. Let me say that should be one.
Chill on the standing platform.
One moment. No! Oh no. I need to do it. There. No! Honestly, that made up for it anyway. And then just keep circling. Please. Bitch. No! I didn't get it. Oh well, it's fine. So annoying. Okay, we're doing it now. Oh, fuck! This is the run. Alright. Okay, here we go. Bullshit time, baby. I don't know if I'm supposed to get farther when he does that move, or if I'm supposed to get closer. I think I was just barely too close. There's too many particles. Too much shit on the screen. There's too much fucking shit on me.
Can I use that trick?
Huh?
Too much shit
Absolutely not.
on me.
Most people will not understand what the fuck you're saying. They wouldn't understand it if I was fucking saying it. Be like, what's wrong with this weirdo? Man. Fucking stamina. That should be 2, I think. I need to start counting more.
3.
2. No, every third one is a riposte. But it's
Ah,
huh? Huh?
that's just different. Because I said when you prepare it 3 times, eh, every time.
I have to count like several things. That's why I kind of lose track. So I also need to keep track of how many times I do that one. Right. So it's like one parry, and I'm at 2 strong attacks now. Two parries. We're gonna go back down to 2 strong attacks. We probably recovered a lot. So a parry here, and I might get a poison ring. Uh-oh. Shoot there.
I'm so Twitter!
Dark Souls Thunder wouldn't even save me there. So, that lasted a lot of damage. So. Make sure you're looking at my phone too, so I don't miss a message.
Die. What? What's my connection?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, that's really clean. Uh-oh. I'm a little slow. Be about bullshit time. It is indeed bullshit time. Fuck, dude! Oh, yeah, that's... No. I did really well though.
I know.
What?
Furniture.
What?
Don't stop.
No, oh. I wait because I want more stamina. Honestly, at least it was a move that he did that took. Can you? Fuck off! Ah. If I had died to that, I would have cried. What are you doing? What? One is we need to run.
Do you want to like the light? You suck.
Okay, this is too much. Let's fucking go! Let's go!
Oh, let's go. You did.
Oh.
Ready to jump?
No. Oh. Alright, now we have to wait for Coco. Push into. Go. Just for you. Time for Elden Ring.
The battle is over, I see. I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness.
There's a long upon you. Fun.
Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
Alright. So yeah, I haven't been maidenless for like 200 hours. Stop doing the maidenless meme. It shows a lack of awareness at all, and it's like, oh, I saw this thing on Twitter, so let me say it too. Stop. Not funny. You get a maiden like instantly in the game. You can indeed. That was the option if I had, instead of summoning her, walked up to the chair, I believe. So, let me go over some thoughts about the game. I think that, like, some of this is going to be restating, but I'm going to elaborate on some more, because I've had some other thoughts. Like, half of the game, like, kinda sucks, and usually in a Souls game, that is, like, the last half, because generally all Souls games are unfinished, and generally they like work really hard in the beginning, and then about halfway through they're like, oh shit, we need to have an ending to our game. Most people think that like the last half of Dark Souls like sucks. I don't think it sucks. Even the people who like Dark Souls 2 think that even like the last half of Dark Souls 2 like is not the best. Same thing for like Dark Souls 3, same people I think feel a lot less that way about Bloodborne. And I guess people feel a bit less about that for Sekiro. I think that some of the last bosses in this game are actually like sick. I like Radigan. I'm mostly fine with Malekith. I just wish that he did a bit less damage. Gods Can Duel can go fuck themselves. I like Godfrey. Gideon is okay, but Gideon's kind of weird. But there's just like a lot of garbage in the game. There's just some of the last areas in the game just fucking suck. Like Crumbling Farum sucks. That place sucks. So does the tree. So does Melania's area. All of those areas, most people I've talked to, they were at a point where they were like, oh yeah, I just ran past everything there. And it's like, yeah, because like the area, I don't know, you're kind of like burned out on the areas, you're tired of seeing these same enemies, there's just a fuck ton of enemies in those areas, or they're like empty and shit. I feel the same way about the mountaintops. The mountaintops suck. There's fucking like nothing in the mountaintops. It's the second most barren area in the game. The most barren area being, the fucking lake. The fucking lake is abysmal. Except for the fact that, like, I liked the academy. The academy was a good area. But man, like, fuck that shit. But I really think that the game needed to lean into its open world shit, and instead of having, like, catacombs that give me useless bullshit and giving me, like, crafting materials a lot of the time, like, as loot pickups and shit, I really wish that the game had instead given me, like, stat boosts. Just give me, like, a thing that straight up gives me health, stamina, mana, equipment load, stuff like that. Reduce the amount of memory stones, separate the healing Estus from the mana Estus, so that I don't have to choose, and also so they can just litter more of those upgrades throughout the world. I think that instead of giving us so many great runes, which you can only have one equipped at a time, I think that they should have just given us literal upgrades. I think that after you beat Margit, you should have unlocked the ability to do the Sekiro kick them when you jump over their sweeps thing. Honestly, they also should have just put the Mikuri counter in the game. They should have just leaned into some of that bullshit. There honestly just needed to be like more upgradey RPG type stupid bullshit to like justify the open world, so that less of the time when I go explore or do things, I'm like, man, this game offered me nothing valuable. I gained nothing by doing this except for like the meager amount of souls. And like, I don't know, I think the game really should, because the game is like set up to do it too, where like the game gives you the jumping ability, and there are even like there's a list of attacks that bosses do that you can just jump over, and it's like, okay, cool. I know that I can do a jumping attack, but wouldn't it be even cooler if like you made it so that I could do the Sekiro thing? Because then we're playing a bit more off of like this poise breaking mechanic we added to the game, right? Which is like good. The poise breaking mechanic is good because it encourages like active gameplay. The problem is that like the rest of the game doesn't really feel like it's super built around them. Like with Radigan, you could see it, because I was really aggressive. I was either parrying or like attacking almost 100% of Radigan. But like a lot of the bosses, like you can't do that, and it feels like that's what they want you to be able to do. But I just don't know if that's like possible. I would have loved for, a more like stupid RPG bullshit, just for like, I think that some of the Ashes of War could have been like combined, but like you slowly like upgrade them. Like I think a lot of the parry ashes, so there's like parry, and then there is like, oh, you can parry and it will yeet arrows And then there's also a parry where it's like, oh yeah, it'll also like make it so that magic misses you. And then there's also the one I was using where it will convert the magic, it will eat the magic and then make it like an attack I do. I think that all of those should have just been combined. Like, you should have been able to combine them over the course of the game, which I think would have been cool. I think the game should have leaned into character growth because it's open world and like, because if they do this whole like unique shit that I'm talking about, then it also means that like, if you do like a subsequent playthrough, then your character ends up being like different just by virtue of like you might do different shit, right? Same thing for like talisman pouches. I think honestly we could have been given a lot more talisman pouches. I think we could have been given a lot more Estus upgrade shit. I think that we could have had more Wondrous Flask. Wondrous Flask upgrades I think would have been really, really good. Because like, even just getting like another charge of it, or unlocking more slots. Chancer's idea for unlocking more slots I hadn't even thought about, but like that one seems like a no-brainer. That by the end of the game we probably should have had more of those. Optional bosses, I think there's only like, okay, meaningful optional bosses, I think there's only like 3. Melania, Moog, and the Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord is okay. Moog is also okay. The only problem with Moog is kind of like the gimmick is like a little lame. Because it's like, how are you supposed to figure that out? And Melania, everyone knows. Melania sucks. Melania, I think, is actually one of the worst bosses in Souls history by virtue of the fact that I was unable to have fun. I can list, ignoring Dark Souls 2, there are very few bosses that have made me feel the way that Melania feels. And it's not because she's hard. I love many bosses that I suck at and that I think are hard. I love ONS. I think ONS is a good time. I am bad at Seath, and I like Seath. I am bad at Quelaag, and I like Quelaag. Quelaag has walled me many times. The only like real complaint I have about Quelaag, I have 2 real complaints. Is that one, I think it's like hard to understand her AOE attack, because when I was dying to it when I first played, I had no idea it was even an AOE attack because like I couldn't see I couldn't see the edge. I just thought it was like a room-wide thing, and I was like, well, this is stupid. And then also, like, in the PC version, I haven't really run into this in my 360 version. In the PC version, I get stuck inside of her, like, literally inside of her a lot, and I don't really know what's going on with that. But it's, like, not really the same thing. In Dark Souls 2, I got walled by Lost Sinner, and I don't really hate Lost Sinner. I just kind of hate the game. It's not really the boss's fault that a lot of the mechanics in the game just suck dick. In Dark Souls 3, I got walled by, I don't remember their name, but they're like God Devourer, and they were fine. Except for one attack. I still think that one attack is bullshit, and that attack is in this game as well, and I think it's also bullshit here. It's the arrow rain thing that Radahn does. I think that like a lot of the balance of this game is just fucked. I don't think that you should be like have to level up health as much as you do in order to not be like 1 or 2 shot. I think that the damage scaling in this game is just absolutely broken, and it's there to cover up the fact that the game has like 20 enemies that it uses for its like 100-hour game. Because if they didn't up the damage, you'd be like, wow, this game is like piss easy. Like I've upgraded my weapon and I one-shot everything, and these are the same enemies as they are in the first area, except they do like a little bit different shit. But the different shit is like almost never different enough for me to feel like, oh, I'm fighting a new enemy. And I think that that's like a big problem. I don't think that there should really ever be a thing in the game that does 1,000 damage. I know that that's a little controversial, but like 1,000, I have 1,200 health at 30 vigor, and I just don't think that things need to do that much damage. Because I mean, I have like damage resistance. I think my lowest resistance is like 20% or something. So it's like, so the thing that's killing me is actually doing, 1,200, or no, is doing uh, more than that. It's like 1,300. You get my idea. If something like one shots me, it's actually doing like an insane amount of damage. And I just don't think that that needs to happen, because this isn't a turn-based game where like the only thing that we're allowed to touch is my damage, their damage, and their health. Yeah, sure. As long, like, I mean, I think I'm fine with some one-shots, right? Like, with Radigan grabbing me, I'm fine with that one-shotting me. I'm not fine with, like, like Malekith's basic swings one-shotting me. I think that that's stupid and bullshit. The problem, like this game, like the shit just does so much damage. I got to the Fell Twins, which are just like a basic enemy that they decided was a boss, and everything that they did basically one-shot me, except for the the magic thing that they did, which only didn't one-shot me because I would only be hit by like a small portion of the attack. But like shit like that is just crazy. It's just dumb. Uh, Dual wielding in this game is just stupid, and it feels like the game is balanced around that, which I don't think. I don't know. Like there are several fights in the game where I'm just like, this boss has too much health. Like this boss, it just has too much health. Radigan is like pushing too much health, but honestly, I think he's mostly fine. Elden Beast, with the way that it's after Radigan, I think definitely is not like okay. But I don't know. I didn't have nearly as much problem with Elden Beast as I think a lot of other people did, and it didn't bother me anywhere as much. But I mean, I also was coming straight off of Melania, right? And Melania sucks. Melania sucks. Melania is just blood. Uh, Anything involving the horse, I hated. I think that the horse probably should have been upgraded throughout the game, or been given something. I think armor, for the most part, actually looks good. This is like the first Souls game in a long time where I'm like, yeah, I kind of like the fashion in it. Dark Souls 3 has okay, but I don't know, I wasn't super in love with it. I think Dark Souls 1 has good fashion, but not the. I think this game probably has better fashion than Souls 1. But also, I mean, I haven't done too much with poise, but I've been hearing a lot of people talking about how poise is basically non-existent in this game, which is obviously stupid. We've lived in fear of going back to Dark Souls 1's poise system, and I don't really know why. Like, I guess we're just terrified that people will Havels through something. You've been using poise fine. You are in a very small minority then, I think, because everybody I've seen talking about they broke poise again, and it literally does nothing. I've heard some people saying that in order to get a reasonable amount of poise effectiveness, it starts at 60 or something, which is outrageous. It's way too high. Where they're saying that below 60, they're still being hit stunned by an arrow, right? By, the smallest of attacks, and it's that's weird. quests in this game suck. I've like read some of the quests and like they seem cool, but the problem is that like this is definitely by far like the hardest game for quests, I think. Just by the nature of the game, and it's like it's bad. It does not feel good, and the quests that like I was able to do, I don't know, they just weren't interesting. But like some of them I've read are like, oh, this is like seems kind of cool. Too bad like I played the game and I got locked out like really early and really hard. Like really hard. Yeah. Which is, you know, I don't think great. I think that I think with a couple of like balance waves for like some of the stuff, I think I don't mind like Frost and Bleed. I just think that they're like a little too good, which sucks because I don't know, they feel good in this game. This is like the first Souls game where I've looked at Bleed and been like, yo, this is like kind of fun. But really, I think a part of that problem, well, part of why it's too good and part of like why it's fun are because things have so much fucking health that when like you proc the bleed and it does like 3,000 damage, you're like, that's pretty cool. But the problem is that like if I don't have that bleed, I look at the health bar and I'm like, wow, this is gonna take me forever. What the fuck? And like Dark Souls 2 handled power stancing better. I'll say it. I'll be the brave one to say it that Dark Souls 2 did something better than this game. I mean, actually, Dark Souls 2 did several things better than this game. This is the game that should have had either like bonfire aesthetics or like some way to refight bosses. The fact that like I don't know. This was the game to take some like a lot of the good from the other games. I I think that some level design is great in this game. Stormvale Castle owns. That place was great. Caelid sucks. I hate the music. I hate the way it looks. I hate like half the enemies. The problem is that like it feels like there's never another area that lives up to Stormvale Castle. Stormvale Castle has like all these ins and outs. It's got like hidden bosses in it. It's cool. It's got multiple routes through the area. It's a good time. And then like you leave it and you never get to really return. I mean, the academies, I like the academy too, but I saw someone else post and they really got like my head turned. They were like, it's crazy that like all of the like the main areas don't interact more with the open world. Like the capital interacts with the open world. The capital has like several ways where you can go in. You can go in through the front gate by killing the what's his name, right? Or you can get teleported there via the quest. There's another way in that I don't remember right now. I'm pretty sure there's another way into the capital that you can really do. And it's like, that's cool because that interacts with the open world. That's good. That's a good thing. Right? Because it means that there are, you know, many roads and shit. But like, there should have been a lot more of that in the game. There should have been a lot more of that in the game. Right? There should have been like, and like they even have like a little bit of it, right? Because you can get the 2 medallions to go to the plateau, or you can take the mines, right? And like it just feels like a little half because there should have been more of that. That shit's cool, right? Moog also has it. You can do Barris's quest or whoever the maidenless guy is. You can do his quest to just teleport to Moog. or you can do the other way. Moog's thing also just feels extremely unfinished. The way that you just teleport her to it doesn't feel done. The 16 Crucible Knights and the fact that there are only 2 types of Crucible Knights doesn't feel done. People have tried to liken it to be like, oh, there's like so many Crucible Knights because they're like Black Knights, you know, stop being. It's like, yeah, but there are like 8 different Black Knights, right? They all use different weapons, or you know, most of them do. You get 2 Crucible Knights. And most of them aren't like there are I think 3, maybe 4 spear ones, and then I think 12 sword ones. Like what the fuck is going on? There's so much reuse. There's so much reuse, which again I don't think would be as bad if I was given like more unique rewards for like someone doing some of those, right? And a lot there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, but you never see a reused boss if you just do the main stuff. And it's like, okay, so then what? I don't understand like that argument that I should just like accept that the rest is filler. I don't know. Yeah, you're thrilled to see a Black Knight because 1, they had like 6 drops, and 2, because you could get like their weapons, and their weapons were cool. All their weapons had at least 1 unique thing to them, right? Also, their armor was cool. Not that the Crucible Knight's armor isn't cool. The Round Table Hold sucks. The Round Table Hold was not made for someone to play in. I know that this is like, it seems super nitpicky, but buying upgrade stones and then running across like the entire Round Table Hold to upgrade using those stones is very dumb. It is a non-zero amount of time. Please condense the area, because most of it is useless. Please have more NPCs go to the Round Table Hold and like come back and stuff. I think only like 1 comes back. I don't know. It's weird. I just don't really like understand. Yes. I don't know. Maybe Bloodborne, but I'm pretty sure you can attack in Bloodborne too. Yeah. It's also like that is another weird thing about the game, where there's just areas where you're not allowed to like attack and stuff. What's even more fucked up is there's an area in the game that you get to by hitting an illusory wall, but you're in an area where you're not allowed to attack, and so the average player is supposed to figure out to roll in it. I mean, I know that that works because I've played the other games, but how the fuck is somebody else supposed to know that? I think that you might be able to figure out like illusory walls. It's not very likely, but you might be able to do it. But rolling into that one, I think, is super fucked. There's like no way in hell I would have found it if I wasn't watching like a stream where it happened. And I didn't interact like a ton with spellcasting, but you know, that's just how that kind of goes. I have no idea like what level the game expects me to be done. I'm level I think 118 right now. I said I wasn't gonna level up anymore because I didn't want to. I leveled up to 30 vigor. I did not want to do that, but I didn't see a way for me to have fun without leveling up vigor, which asked me to trade fun anyway. Because, like, fuck. I don't know, I just don't like leveling up health. It's so boring. Give me more damage. Some spells and shit just have, like, insane costs. When I saw some of the high, like, requirements for spells, I honestly thought we were going to bring back this thing from Dark Souls 2, which lets you lower the requirements of spells, but that doesn't exist in the game, and I don't really know what's going on there. Ashes of War or whatever, honestly, if they want me to use them, they gotta figure out a better system, because in order for me to like use my weapons Ash, I have to give up parrying, and I'm not gonna give up parrying because I like parrying. I'm a little like my biggest point of praise for Elden Ring is that you can parry a lot of bosses in the game, and I think that's amazing. I love that. Couldn't be fucking happier that we can parry bosses. I mean, I still have some gripes because I'm like, some bosses I think where they have instituted that, like, okay, you need to parry them more than once in order to get a riposte. Sure, I think that for some of them it should have been a little bit lower. Like Margit taking 2, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Melania taking 3, no, fuck off. Margot taking, I think, 4, fuck off. Like, come on. Radigan taking 3, absolutely fine. I think that's perfect. Actually, I don't know. Radigan is the best boss in the game, and I can't imagine thinking differently. Honestly, Radigan owns that fight. Is great. The music's good. Like his attacks are good. There's a lot of ways to deal with a lot of them. There's a lot of ways you can kind of like sneak in damage here and there. He's like definitely poise breakable. I think a lot of bosses in the game, like for me at least, are just basically on poise breakable, where I can't work in charged heavy attacks here. Jumping attacks, sure, but I would rather honestly just like R1 twice to do a little bit more damage. Yeah, I mean the flashbang when you enter Radigan sucks, and also the run to Radigan kind of sucks. But you know, like, I think I love the fight. Fight is good. Lore for the game, I haven't been paying too much attention, honestly. It hasn't really grabbed me. And I think that a big reason why it hasn't grabbed me is because of the open world. For me to... Because... To explain. The world is huge. There's a lot of these stupid catacombs and caves and mines, which means that a lot of these items, because each of those will have a couple of unique items, maybe. All of those items are scattered so fucking far. And for me to start looking at the lore, like, you need a lot of items, right? To start piecing some things together, gathering the pieces, right? And that is such a large, large endeavor when all of the content for that is so spread out. That would take me fucking forever without having to just look up the items and then read the item descriptions. But that fucking sucks. I don't really like to do that, because then you're relying on other people actually like transcribing that shit correctly, and we've run into issues with that in the past. As an example, I'm pretty sure in Dark Souls 1's wiki, several of the item descriptions are not accurate, and some wordings matter. This isn't the case with the wiki, but you know, when Dark Souls 1 came out with its with its English release, there was a mistranslation, which this game also I think has mistranslations that affect the lore, which I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that part out. And it listed a character as a he, even though it was a she. In the Japanese version, it's fine. And somebody eventually found this out, this person being Epic Name Bro, because he's a good guy, and he does lore correctly, unlike some people. And so, like, kind of stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to catch that, because obviously I don't speak Japanese, and I don't have access to, like, the Japanese version, right? The Japanese text. But I like to be able to do it myself. I did do it myself for a fair bit of Dark Souls 1 and stuff like that. And I formed my own thoughts and opinions, and I've also listened to other people's thoughts and feeling like, that's a better idea. That definitely makes way more sense. And there's also things that people say, and I'm like, that's stupid. I've been keeping my ear to the ground like a little bit for the lore of this game. And I don't know, like a lot of it I'm just kind of like, I don't care. I don't care. And I think a lot of it has to do with just how spread out shit is. And this game is actually really short. If you ignore all the fluff and shit, it's pretty short. Like I'm pretty sure if I went in a New Game Plus, I'd be able to like finish it pretty quickly. Just because like the minimum requirements for the game is you need to kill 2 shard bearers, and like from there, oh, it's not a lot, and so it's hard to really talk about it like that because the game is long, but it's also short. There's a lot of optional shit, but I don't really feel like giving the game credit for the optional shit because the optional shit sucks. It sucks. I was done with Catacombs after like the second one. The only reason I did any more than that was just because like they're good. They were good areas for Chancer and I to co-op that didn't like kind of compromise my solo experience, right? Whatever that means, right? If I could go back, maybe I would have preferred to do my first run as like a no limits, like use whatever to beat the boss type thing. Because that's what I did for like Souls 1. In Souls 2, I kind of like intentionally gimped myself. I tried to play like an idiot, but I kind of gave up on that one because the game sucked, and I was like, I gotta start playing a bit smarter. Otherwise, this game will take me forever. I did not use life gems when I played uh, Dark Souls 2. I didn't use life gems. I might have used them when I was co-oping with other people, but when I was playing, I did not use them. The game sucked because people tried to argue that the game was not designed around life gems, that they were just like an extra, which is just false. The game is designed around life gems, for sure. You can beat the game just using your Estus, but it is miserable. Just miserable. Horse sucks. Not a fan of the horse. I wish that there were more boss souls. The game I think severely lacks in like some of the cool shit in Souls. Boss souls. There are no tail cuts in the game. There are no dragons that when you fight them you can cut off their tail. Which is fucking lame. Tail cuts are cool and honestly like good. They're fun. Because they give you like a little added extra challenge in a boss fight. And also they impact the boss fight. Doing things in the boss fight that impact the boss fight, honestly even doing stuff outside the boss fight that impact the boss fight are good and fun. I wish that we had taken a little bit more from that because in Dark Souls 2, there's a fight Lost Sinner. And it takes place in this really dark room, and it's so dark that it affects your lock-on. It actually decreases your lock-on range, which is a mechanic that kind of like exists in all the Souls games, but we rarely ever really play with it. But if you explore the area enough, you can find a key, and that key will take you to these 2 side rooms, and you can light some very large torches, which will light up the boss room, which will negate the whole like darkness of it, which means that your lock-on will function like as normal. And the boss actually intentionally has a couple of moves where if you haven't lit the room up, then they will like move a far enough distance away that they will break your lock-on, which is actually like kind of cool. Like Dark Souls 2 is not entirely 100% bad. It has like some actually cool and interesting ideas. And the open world nature of this game really felt like that should have been more of a thing. Radon is like a little bit of this. But I think that we could have gone a lot farther. I stand by my idea that Radon should have been later in the game, and he should have been kind of like the accumulation of you doing some NPC quests, because that would be fucking sick. Or if like the NPCs that you summon there are improved by like you doing their quest or something. I don't know. Something outside the fight. More shit outside the fight that affects the fight. If I've met Ronnie before I fight Renala, the Renala fight should change. Uh, the game should have been more because, and you know, this might sound crazy, but like Sekiro is actually like a fairly dynamic game. There comes a point in Sekiro where you have like a four-way branching path, which is not too, you know, rare in Dark Souls. But the neat thing is that if you go beat the first path, the other three paths change. Like enemy layouts change, and like the areas like kind of change. And when you beat that second one, I'm pretty sure the other two change. They all change based on like the order in which you do them, which is fucking cool. I've always done them like in the same order, but I remember talking to somebody else and they were like, "What are you talking about? Like these enemies you're talking about just aren't there for me." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they were like, "Well, I did this thing, and then I went to go do this thing, and then I went to the place you're talking about." I was like, "Okay, well that's interesting because I went here and then I did it, and then blah 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 blah." Right? And it's like, oh my god, like the game actually changed because we did things in a different order. That's cool. That's just cool. Meanwhile, like Elden Ring has a world devoid of soul and like life. It's so empty. So much of the game I felt like was just me riding around on a horse. And it's like, oh yeah, well, that's because you didn't know where to go. And you know, if you had just listened to like a couple of NPCs, you would have just gone to this place and this place. And say, okay, yeah, but I was trying to enjoy the thing that people kept telling me is so good, which is the exploration. I like exploration actually a lot. That's why I like Dark Souls. I in general like Dark Souls areas more than I like fighting bosses. I don't view Dark Souls as a game that would benefit from being just a boss rush. I very much like going through the levels. That's why when I replay them, I get like every item. I go through like the whole thing just because I like to do that. I like carefully going through and doing all that shit. And I think that this game really like demolished a lot of that. They put all of those eggs into two baskets, into Stormvale and the capital. And it's just like, man, like, come on. I just wish a lot of things were different. I wish that they had treated this game very differently. I don't like Ash summons. Ash summons. I mean, maybe some of them are cool, but they haven't made a game where like the AI is capable of dealing with me having like co-op. Like that's why co-op is easy mode, and Ashes are the same thing. They but Ashes are even better because like they don't increase the boss's health, and you can upgrade them, and they can get like insane. They cost very little stat wise, right? They're like basically like a no stat investment for like a ton of stat gain, which is why I think that they're broken, right? Anytime like an Ash takes a hit for you, it's like okay, you basically just gained that much bigger, right? It's hard to even like really conceptualize all that shit though. Music in the game kind of sucks. I wish that we would vary up the soundtrack a lot more. There are like some standouts, but for the most part, like the music is just not good. I think Dark Souls 1 has like a nice balance of good and bad. I've kind of heard Demon Souls is okay. I've heard Bloodborne is really good on the soundtrack department. Dark Souls 3 was okay, but not good. Dark Souls 2 was pretty not good. What else? I think that the game actually very much lacks in the moveset department. I'm hearing a lot of other people telling me that like the other weapon types suffer from the same problem that my straight swords do, where all of like the straight swords use like the exact same moveset. I think that there's 3 total straight sword movesets. Yet there are like 20 straight swords, which is not very normal. Normally, there's like a bit more variation, even within a weapon type. Which is weird. Uh, there are a fair number of like unique weapons, but I don't know. It's just a very weird game. I don't really like the changes to PvP, where, well, to invading, I should say, because I don't really feel like invasions are going to be very good. There's like no reason to be human passively, like at all. So I don't really know how many people are going to be invaded that aren't just like with their friends and shit and doing 1v2 or 1v3s all the time. It's not very fun. I honestly should have humaned up a lot more of the playthrough, I think. So I could have been invaded and experienced the fun that is invasions, because invasions are fun. But it's just annoying to have to use it all the time like that. For no benefit, really. Uh, Co-op is weird in that I really don't understand why. Uh, I don't. It's weird because rune arcs are fine. Rune arcs are like a good thing to get, but it just feels a little weird because there's no like covenant to also work towards progress there. One of the nice things of the other games is that like every time you do co-op, you like earn like a sunlight medal or whatever, and then you go turn that in, and you can get further rewards, and that's cool. You're rewarded for doing the gameplay you like. Neat, like it. Uh, but I didn't really use rune arcs too much because I was like, it's like really not fair for me just to get +5 to all stats. That's like a lot. Uh, I've heard that spells are good, but honestly, there are some spells in the game with such high requirements that it's just like insane. Equipment load is still fucked. They just need to give us like they just need to give you more equipment load, like a little bit more. I'm not. I mean, like they should just by default you should just have like 10 or 20 more equipment load. I think 10's reasonable. 20 is probably a reach. Talismans, like a lot of them are so lame, just because like their numbers. Like some of them are good, some of them are cool, but like I don't know. I just wish that we got like the Pog as fuck rings like we got in Dark Souls 1, and we kind of moved away from like these weaky bitch ass rings. Upgrade stones were a big problem. I hated how limited I felt. I felt like I was married to my weapon. They've kind of addressed that with the patch though, so it's a bit less. Uh, what else? Oh, I think that this is probably the Souls game I've had. Maybe not the least fun, but maybe like the second least fun. The game has like some good shit, but it's just bogged down by a lot of the bad shit. I genuinely think that like a lot of the reviews and shit just didn't get very far at all in the game. And I think that a lot of people, for some reason, are just like super willing to ignore like a lot of the large flaws, and I don't really get it. I don't really get why like a lot of people are basically willing to like accept that this shit just does so much damage. I don't really know why people are so willing to accept that like there's just so much reused content. It's like, or that the game is so short, or that like the areas are so boring. I don't really know if I'll come back to this game. I kind of feel like I will. I kind of feel like I still will. Just because, like, there are some things I still kind of haven't done that maybe I'm interested in doing. Uh, I don't think I'll do, like, a challenge run, though. I don't know. I'll kind of see. But it won't be for a bit, at least. This game does really make me want to play through like Dark Souls and play through like their other games a lot more, though. So I'm probably gonna do that kind of soonish. But yeah,
Thank you.
uh, yeah. I mean, I probably have like a fuck ton more to say, but yeah. I think the controls are. I don't know. It feels like a little bit worse in some departments where some shit just feels like a little bit less responsive. Some shit just kind of feels like like clunky. I don't know. The two way that you two hand in the game, I don't think is very good. There's a lot of like quality of life things that just kind of suck. Not being able to open up the map when there are enemies nearby. Not even having like teleporting, but it's like I just want to know where this thing is again. Could you just like let me open up the map? Not let me teleport. The game has a function for not being able to teleport. Just do that. Oh. There's like a slight delay between like pressing the button and opening up the map. So you press the button multiple times, and almost every time you open up the map, you also bring up the explanation menu, and it's just it's infuriating, dude. Because then you gotta press B. It's just like ah. Uh, Horse sucks. I think I've said it a couple of times, but the horse sucks. I don't really like it. I think the horse allowed them just to make a huge ass field that has nothing in it and be like, yep, this is good because they'll ride through it on their horse. And it's like, great. You just wasted my time. Thanks, brother. Uh, I think level design still takes a huge hit because we just litter bonfires everywhere because of warping. I don't like warping. I've said this about a gajillion times. I think that you should unlock the ability to warp to limited places instead of being able to warp to literally every bonfire in the game. We should be able to upgrade our weapons on our own. We should not need to have to go back to the round table hold to upgrade our weapons. That shit is fucking stupid. Just let me do it out in the wild. We are able to level up on our own, which I am very thankful for that. Because fuck having to go back to Majula or Firelink Shrine or the Hunter's Dream or the Nexus to level up. Fuck that nonsense. Just let me do it at the bonfire. There's no reason to put me through, like, at least 2 loading screens to do this shit. I don't really care about loading screens, but I care about having to, like, interrupt the shit I was doing to go take care of your stupid menial tasks. Especially with how lifeless the Roundtable Hold is. At least with the Firelink Shrine in Dark Souls 3, there was, like, full of life. There were many NPCs there, and it's like, oh, you know, I came back here to level up, so let me check in with these people and make sure that these people are all fine and they don't have anything new to say to me. That's not a fucking worry in Dark Souls or in Elden Ring, because they all fucking leave. But hey, at least co-op still owns. I mean, co-op's still fun. But I don't really know if that's because of Elden Ring or just because, like, co-op is fun. Fuck Godskin Duo. Fuck Millennia. Those 2 bosses suck. Those 2 bosses are awful. Godskin Duo, I think, kind of exemplifies, like, a lot of what's wrong with the game's design. The Godskin Duo should end if you kill both of them at the same time. Full stop. This game has taken me, like, a very long time, and some of that's just because I was idle, some of that's because, you know, I'm stubborn, and I'm like, oh, I want to do this my way, and stuff like that. But that's, like, how I have fun. But the problem is that I think I had a lot less fun in this game. I never really got, like, super stuck, except for, like, Millennia. I guess, like, Radiant took me a little bit. Actually, no, not Radiant. Elden Beast took me a little bit. Morgott took me a little bit. Margit took me a little bit. But, like, and Radahn took me a little bit. But, like, for the most part, I just was not, like, ever really. I don't know. I don't feel like the game ever really challenged me to get good. I got stuck many times in Dark Souls 1, and I don't think, because I also got stuck in Dark Souls 3 a couple of times. Never, like, super stuck. But there were times where I felt like Dark Souls 3 was like, you should get good. You should get good. And I like when the game is like, get good. Like, this is where we're asking you to demonstrate that you have gotten, like, at least a little bit better at our game. But for, like, the most part, I don't know. With Elden Ring, it just feels like the game wants me to be a higher level. It feels like a lot more of the time than it asks me to be good. And that's weird and kind of dumb. Game had a lot of poison swamps. And not a whole lot of NPC selling me unlimited cures for it, and I'm not a fan of that. I probably still have more to say, but I can't really think about it right now. So, I'm going to hit no on this prompt, and we're gonna go beat the game again. And I'm going to show my stat screen. I'm going to show my equipment. Also, fuck upgrading talismans. I don't like the way that we have done it, like, ever. I guess I'll go over that kind of shit that I use a lot of the time, too. Where I ended up storing some of this. I did not use very many of these, like, at all. I did use like these scar seals a bit. I definitely used Havel's ring equivalent. I actually did end up using like the raising max health thing, which is very rare. I did use the regen thing a little bit. But we did end up using the razor defense and HPs at maximum, like the anti one-hit talisman thing of it. But there's just too much chip damage that a lot of these bosses end up doing to kind of counteract this talisman, which is just fucking bullshit. I hate the fact that they put this talisman in the game, but then they add in so much chip damage just to kind of own it, really. We also... There were times where we used a bloody longsword, and then I also used... I could find up a second one of my weapon. There was a fair amount of parrying, buckler usage for parrying. That's about all we used. A little bit of bowing. Some finger seal. In terms of spells, these are like the only spells I think I used the whole game. Used a lot of bestial vitality, so that's good. Because it helps counteract a lot of that, chip damage. Ending B? No. I can't just go and do it again. I would have to beat the whole game. That's not how Dark Souls works. You don't just get to go fight the last boss again and then get the other ending. I also didn't respec, but I've kind of ranted on respecking and how I think you should, instead of respecking, you should like live with your decisions. If you just respec, then like, what is like your character then, right? Your character's just your level and starting class. Commit to something for once in your life, you coward. Yeah. I guess I can also just... These are the things I put on my hotbars and shit. On shit. Check my Dark Souls Twitter. Still killing it. Man, it sucks that they don't give you a boss soul for Radigan. Dude, are there any bosses that have a fucking straight sword? No straight sword boss weapons. Wait, do you not get any... Oh, wow. You also don't get, like, any armor from the final boss. Also kind of lame. Okay. So, this will probably be the last VOD in this collection. So, I'm gonna see if Nameless will highlight all this shit for me. And if not, then I will do the laborious task of doing that. So huzzah, I beat the game. Maybe some time away will make me feel better about it, and I will come back to it. But, so on final, yeah, I do want it highlighted. All that you will devote, you and I should talk about that later, because it's complicated. But I'm gonna do the end thing for the highlight. But if, oh no, also, this is like roughly my time. I don't know if this includes when I was just hovering over that other thing, but if you somehow find yourself watching the stream, thanks for watching, I'm sorry. Bye! Alright. Alright. Elden Ring is done. Oh, that fucking face! I gotta send it the Chancer. Alright.